and welcome to a new episode of mYak, the Knitting Yak. Today I have a super duper special guest, and I'm really excited about this because I've been a fan of her work for a while. So welcome Natalia from Fiber Creative. Hi Natalia.
Hi.
So if you are joining us live, please feel free to ask any questions that you have for Natalia or for me or for mYak. And if you are joining us, if you're watching this later on, just enjoy it. I think that's.
Yeah, it's not only me joining, also my friend. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. You said his name is Jack? No. Jack.
He decided to join.
Yeah. Let us know if you can. Let us know if you can hear us as well. I think your voice is still a bit low, so you might have to speak up.
Okay, I will try to speak a bit louder.
Yeah. And welcome everybody. It's always exciting for us to have one of these, more or less weekly chats. We do our best to bring you new designers and new ideas every week, and I hope you enjoy them. If you do enjoy them, please make sure you subscribe on the channel, give us comments, send us some love, and remember that all of the things that we're going to discuss today are going to be down in the description box. So the Instagram for and Ravelry for Natalia, the patterns, all the information, everything is going to be in the chats down below. So let's do. First of all, where are you? You are in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, or?
I'm in the Netherlands, but I live in a small village close to Rotterdam. It's close to Dordrecht and Rotterdam. So it has an unpronounceable name. It's Glavendale.
Ah.
Yeah, like for 5 years I still cannot learn properly how to pronounce this, the name of the village. Yeah, with the Dutch language it can be tricky, especially with pronunciation. So, yeah.
Sorry, I have somebody say that you have to come closer to the microphone. They cannot really hear you.
Okay.
So even if you have a beautiful, so even if you go closer, you're so beautiful that we can see you even better.
Thank you.
Let us know, Valeria, let us know if you can hear us better as well. So you're living in near this little village near Rotterdam for 5 years?
Yes, I think it's 5 years. I think it's 5 years, or maybe 6 or 5.
Something like that, around 5 years.
Especially with pandemic, sometimes I cannot track time properly because sometimes it's a week that apparently it's a month. The other time it's a month, but it feels like 1 day or something like this.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. Yeah, I think we sort of erased 2020. That year just did not exist.
Yeah, but I moved to the Netherlands. I studied in Rotterdam for 2 years, so I graduated and decided to continue to work as freelancer and knitting. Started to knit and understood that knitting is quite a big part of my life, became with time, and I tried to knit more and more today and try to start sort of career with knitting, or at least produce enough patterns and designs to feel myself proper knitwear designer.
Well, you did a wonderful job. So are you saying that you actually start knitting only 5 years ago? Were you knitting before when you were young?
No, I wasn't knitting before I moved to the Netherlands. Because my grandma tried to teach me how to knit when I was, 5 probably or 6. But at that time I liked to cast on stitches, but I never moved further. So I cast it on and then I ripped off. Cast on and ripped off.
Cast on and cast off. That's a good way. Okay.
This was it. So and when I moved to the Netherlands, my husband presented me a pile of chunky yarn, very chunky yarn for my birthday, and 20mm needles. And I decided to try, and in half an hour now I had a head, and it's not so difficult, and it's actually quite fast. I thought so, because it was like a really chunky yarn, and I started from this head, and here I am now.
It's good. We still have some problem with your audio. I'm sorry. Is any way that you can either speak up or?
I can move even closer.
Yeah.
But I don't have a microphone. Probably my
Yeah.
voice is small, but
Maybe.
we'll see.
Or maybe just try.
Yeah, like this maybe.
I think you have very low tone of voice. Maybe that's the, you're very mellow, and maybe you just have to raise the tone of voice.
Yeah, I don't like to speak loud.
Yeah.
So for me it's quite difficult to
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope they can hear us then. Was that so? Before moving to the Netherlands, you were living in Russia. That's where you're originally from.
Yeah, I was born and I was living in Moscow. I studied there, I worked there, so like most of my life I spent in Moscow. But then I decided that there is a time to change some things in my life. I moved to Poland, I studied in Poland, and now I'm living here.
So how's the change between moving from Moscow to near this little village near Rotterdam?
It's a drastic change, because in Moscow I worked as art director and graphic designer in a quite big advertising agency, and like Moscow, it's a huge city. It's like 20 million people, so it's like entire Poland, only one city, and life there it's like 24/7. So I was constantly moving, constantly doing something, and I didn't have the time to like properly breathe or to rest. It's always
It's a fast pace.
Yeah, and here it's very quiet. The time slows down a lot in this small village, and at first, of course, it was quite difficult to adjust, because I used to run, and here I just had to stop.
But it's good, sometimes to slow down. I think maybe your lifestyle has improved in that sense. Maybe you.
Yes, a lot. And knitting helped, of course, a lot to adjust small bit lifestyle, and I actually started to like understand small things, figure out like this small living or quiet living or slow living, slow living. Yeah, and although I still can I need half an hour to go to Rotterdam by train, an hour to go to Amsterdam, so for me it's no problem to dive into city life again. It's like only an hour from me, so it's very nice that in such a short time I can travel from city to my small quiet place.
Yeah, it's good because everything there is sort of flat as well. It's easy. You do go around by bicycle all the time, or?
Yeah, I think as soon as you arrive in Poland, you get bicycle here. So the first thing I got from my husband's parents, they presented me a bike actually.
That's a good present. You needed that.
Yeah, with the residence permit I received a bike.
Yes. I actually lived in Leiden for 9 months. When I was younger, I was studying Oriental languages at the university there. So I lived, I lived there, and I loved it. I think it's one of the area, and I travel a lot around the Netherlands, and I just loved it. But it was really cold in winter. I remember that. It was like, it was beautiful with all the canals and everything else, but the weather was pretty tough. Not that New York is better, actually, but there was a lot of snow and a lot of cold weather as well.
I miss snow, because in Poland there is not a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And if there is snow, it melts in the next day. Every time, for every winter, I went to Moscow. Now it's problematic because of the restrictions. But In Holland, one thing I for sure miss it's snowing, proper
Yeah.
snow, proper winter.
Wow. So let's talk about your designs. I mean, you have a few designs that you have developed, one better than the other. And the reason why I discovered you, I mean, I did not know about your work before. It was when you published, or actually when Making Stories, the magazine, in their third issue, published the beautiful Espalier that you're wearing. So can we talk about that?
Yeah, my first design, like my first collaboration with Making Stories was their first issue. With their first issue, I submitted the shawl, and they also really liked it. And then third issue, of course, with this beautiful yarn, because first I also didn't know about yarn, and actually Making Stories offered me this yarn, so I was thinking about different one, and they offered this one, and it was a new yarn, a new base for you back then, and I was really excited to try something new, especially. And when I just received the yarn, I think I was cuddling this yarn for a few days before I started to knit, because it's so soft and nice, and it really feels nice, and yeah. I was really happy that Making Stories offered me this collaboration and yarn.
So let's go back one step. So your first design for Making Story, was that, what was that, the shawl? Was that Rainfall? No.
Yeah, Rainfall.
Rainfall.
Yes.
Do you have the sample there?
No, I don't, because my mother, as soon as she saw this shawl, she stole it, so I don't have sample. I still want to knit it's a triangular shawl,
Yeah.
but I want to make also rectangular, so I still want to do it, but unfortunately there's not a lot of time to knit all the samples.
And so that's the Rainfall, and now it's also available as an individual pattern, or it's still only in the magazine?
Yes, it's available on Ravelry.
So you can
Yes,
find it
also
on
has
Ravelry.
books.
And that is a sport weight, or I can't remember now. Is that a sport weight?
It's sport weight, but I would say it's light decay. I think.
Is a light decay, which is the same as
Yeah, I think it will work with Cloud because the shawls usually it's not so important the gauge.
right. So it would be very nice, I think, in the same yarn that you use for Espalier.
Yeah, and the bubbles, they will also look very nice when they're bigger and more pronounced. So
Yeah.
I think Cloud will also work really nice with the design.
So
And it
I
blocks
yeah.
beautifully,
So what did you say?
And it blocks beautifully, so I don't see any problem. Because like some merino and some woolen, like wool, they tend to, especially like merino, I forgot the word. Some merinos, they tend to be very, especially in ribbing, they tend to go back to the shape, so they don't block, and blocking properly and keeping the form is quite important for the shawls.
Right.
And with this yarn, it's keeps the shape quite good. So
Right.
I think
So the
it's
yarn
for
that
shawls
you,
also would work.
so the yarn that you use, the Making Stories suggested, is at the time we had just launched the new Tibetan Cloud, and I believe that they got the yarn before before Tibetan Cloud went on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we are very happy that Making Stories got it. I think we met them in Edinburgh at the festival when we talked about it. And they just said, just send it to us before anything else. And so we did. And they chose the colors. In the colors, I don't have the skein of the Wild Daisy, which is the natural color there. And but we have the Peony that you use with the Wild
It's a
Daisy.
gorgeous color. Actually, before and still I am more of the blue, green, gray shades. And this actually was the first time I used muted pink, I would say, muted powder pink, not powder, but
Oh, it's
this
yeah.
color, so this shade. It's the first time I used for my knitting.
Well, it looks really good on you, I must say.
Yeah.
The photos you took.
To use more and more.
Yeah.
My knitting this color.
So, so this yarn would be, so the same one would be very good for Rainfall as well, because you know, it's at 300 meters, 328 yards, so you don't really need, you know, a few skeins and you're done. So that's a really nice, you know, it's a really nice yarn for shawls.
I have quite a lot of design that will fit this yarn
Oh.
actually.
Oh, okay, we can talk about it. But let's go back to Espalier. What is the inspiration behind Espalier?
Actually, the inspiration came from the stitch itself. I just I did a lot of samples just for the stitch pattern. For the stitch pattern, different variations, different patterns, and basically I said, okay, I love this pattern. I have to somehow apply, and I just said, okay, I really like how it make around the sleeves. So I just need something to add on top.
And it goes on the hem as well, quite high, yeah? Yes. And we did post a few pictures. We did post a few pictures on our Instagram. You can find again. So the news about Espalier. That's one of the reasons we decided to do the chat now. Is because now also Espalier is a self-published pattern, and you also have a Russian translation of it, right?
Yeah. I didn't do a lot of Russian translating before, but when Laine published 52 Weeks of Socks, there were 5 Russian designers, I think, in this book, and we chatted and decided to make some sort of draw prize among our Russian subscribers. And thanks to that, a lot of Russian people came to my account. So I had to and a lot of questions appeared, like, do you have this pattern in Russian? Do you have this pattern in Russian? So I had to translate. I had to start translating my patterns to Russian. So, and for this sweater, it took quite some time. Yeah, and especially because I learned to knit in English. For me, it was quite difficult to translate the Russian knitting language, because it also has its specificities, and sometimes I just lost in translation. Although I'm Russian and speak Russian, knitting Russian sometimes for me can be a problem. Yeah, especially with some terms like the names for castons or bind-offs. It's different in Russian, and sometimes I just don't know how to call the stitch or how to call the method I used
Right.
in Russian. Yeah.
But I'm sure did you get some help? I mean, the knitting industry in Russia is quite well developed. They are amazing knitters.
Yes, the Russians are amazing knitters. Like every stitch, every hem, everything is so squeezed. They knit like it's Russian people knit like machines, like machine level of every stitch by stitch, everything perfect. But I always think that for me it's difficult is how the Russian patterns, how they are written, because there is no such abbreviations like in English.
Yeah.
So when you have in English have 2 letters that mean stitch or whatever, in Russian it's 3-4 words can be. So,
right.
And you have to figure out how to make pattern shorter, otherwise you have 30 pages.
Right.
Simple pattern, yeah. So
But it's good that you did it. So you expanded your audience as well.
Yeah, I have amazing test knitters when I publish, especially garments, for small things like shawls or socks. I can translate myself and ask just to proofread one of my friends who speak Russian and who is professionally doing it. But when I do sweaters, translating sweaters, I always test knit the sweater pattern in Russian. And,
Yeah.
and my test knitters, they do amazing job.
Oh, that's good to know.
I just finished, we just finished translating Espalier, and the girls did an amazing job. Also helped me a lot with translations.
That's good. It's good to have that type of community that you can rely on.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think you wanted to show a shawl or something that you have there that you said was good for the decay, or
yeah. This one, actually, this is my first shawl, and I love it. I love it very much because it's worsted or aran or decay weight yarn, so it's not fingering weight, and it produces gorgeous fabric, I think.
It's gorgeous. Can you show where it starts from? Well, sorry, let's go back. What's the name?
It starts here, and it's a triangular shawl, so you start in the center and knit towards the edges.
Is this Northern Shawl? No, Northern Winds?
Yes, Northern Winds, yeah.
This is Northern Winds. Oh, I have it here.
Yes, this one, yeah.
So, this is amazing. That's one of the pattern that I bought it today. And
yeah,
I just like, whoa, look at that one. And the photography is amazing. Can we just, before we talk about the actual shawl, can you tell me about the photography? Who took the photos?
My husband.
Wow.
I'd say I set camera, and I asked him, okay, you need to press
push the buttons. I think husbands are good for that.
Sometimes, of course, he improvises sometimes, and few photos it's completely his doing. But we always talk about how I want the photo look like.
Right.
And he always helps, so it's nice.
This is a gorgeous pattern. I think we will definitely highlight this in our newsletter tomorrow, because it's, I personally think that this will be good in the sport weight in the Cloud, but also it will be really good in the worsted weight, in our medium weight that we have. That would be the baby yak medium. I think that would be really nice.
Because this is designed
for worsted
weight, and it's very easy to knit and quite fast. The only thing that probably will take the most of the time is applied edges, but otherwise it's beginners friendly, and because it's worsted weight, it gives you huge shawl.
Oh, that's good.
Quite big and super warm, so I really love this shawl. And
I think we are losing your audio again. Sorry.
Again?
We are losing. No, we are sort of. You're sort of relaxed and go back. I cannot hear you anymore.
Sorry.
Is the final measurement of the shawl is 220 centimeters, 420, so 86 by 47 inches, more or less, and it takes 1,095 yards, so like 9 skein of our baby yak. I just picked up the petrol, but there will be so many other beautiful color that you could use for this shawl. I think we should have this one knit up, so if anybody wants some ideas for a gorgeous shawl.
You can easily adjust, for example, you can add or exclude some of the parts, because there's nothing difficult in pattern. The beads are fairly easy, and it's very easy to adjust the size of the pattern.
So the pattern is, they're asking, the pattern is available on Ravelry because I just bought it today, so it's definitely there. So do you have patterns available anywhere else in case people don't want to get them on Ravelry?
Yes, I have a pay hip, and I also sell patterns on Lovecrafts.
Okay.
But not all patterns are at Lovecraft.
Okay, so pay hip and Lovecrafts for some of them, and if not, people can just contact you?
Yeah. Because sometimes, for example, I can forget to put on Lovecraft the pattern, and someone writes me, can I download pattern from Lovecraft? Okay, I ask, okay, could you wait 2 hours? I will upload it there.
Because I just want to show you another photo of this one because it's such a, I mean, you were lucky with the day as well. If that fogginess, it makes a mysterious, beautiful, it's beautiful.
It was raining also, so my husband hates me, I think, probably, because instead of sitting nicely at home.
And you dragged him out to take the photos. Well, he did a good job. I even got the shot with the little duck in there. So, you know, you can, I know you cannot see them, but you will see them when you download the pattern. You can actually see the little duck there, and the fog, everything. It's really beautiful. So this is northern winds, and would be good for the worsted weight or a light decay as well. I think, you know, it would just be different in terms of sizing and weight.
A bit different, yes, but even with cloud, you just can take the needles a bit bigger, and it will produce. And the cloud tend to bloom after washing.
Yeah.
And it will create beautiful fabric with cloud also, I think.
Right. So that shows that. So now another pattern, of course, that I want to talk about is the Theia tee or pullover, or I think it's a short sleeves tee. And this one is the one that we truly fall in love. And it was not originally made with our yarn. It has been published in the Laine Magazine issue 11, which was an amazing issue. I mean, all of the issues are wonderful. Do you want to talk about the process for this one? What's the inspiration behind it?
The thing is that, like, since I joined Instagram with my knitting, I found Laine there, and I think they've at that time they were publishing their first or second issue, something like this. They maybe third, I don't know. So it was quite some time ago. And I was looking through the photos and through their account and was thinking, okay, one day in future I will be published. I want to be published in this magazine. And then they had this submission call for issues 10, 11, and 12, I think, for 3 issues in a row. And I submitted the other design. And they really liked it, and we started to discuss the yarn, we started to discuss colors and stuff, and then they announced that they will postpone the magazine.
Yeah.
So they want to make a stop with magazine and continue later. So I submitted this design to other magazine, and it also was accepted and was published. But then a year, then Laine contacted me and asked, Natalia, if this design is still available, can we still publish it? And I said, unfortunately no, but I can come up with something else for you. And usually design process takes some time. You like walk, you think, you're trying to imagine how the piece would look like, what you want to achieve and stuff. And usually for me it's like week or 2 weeks, I just thinking in my head what I want, and then some time to make swatches, to figure out what the best construction for this design. But with the design that I offered them, the Theia top, it was like one day. Okay, I will. And like it immediately came to my mind this idea with the sunbeams going through the from shoulders to down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go down.
Yes.
It's yeah.
And I was still, and I'm still obsessed with slip stitches. So.
It's a lot of people when they see the photo, they ask if it's complicated.
Actually, it's quite. The most difficult part is applied hems, like folded hems, that in general they can be replaced with the just normal ribbing. I just like this how they look.
I think the folded hem looks really beautiful. I have a swatch here. It makes it so much neater, a little bit thicker, it stays in place better. I think it just gives that finishing touches that you don't get with just with a ribbed hem as well. It's really nice. I know it's a little bit pain in the neck to make it, but the result is really nice. I think I just want some sleeves with that. So this is a little swatching around. Of course, I got it in my ring. Let's do it this way. So, yeah.
I think I also have it.
You have it? Perfect. So you have the original one? Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
But
really...
unfortunately, it's not really my colors. Yellow I tend to avoid, but I'm knitting for myself in blue shades, so it's like dark blue color with silver gray lines. So this one is sunbeams and I'm knitting moonbeams.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. And so when...
it's a goddess, I think it's a Greek goddess of sun and... No, she's a goddess of gems, I think, and blue sky, and she has two sons, or two kids. One is sun, the other one is moon. So,
okay. So that's...
I'm small bit, I could mistake a bit, but she definitely has two kids. One is sun.
One is sun and one is the moon. We will have to check it out with our Greek mythology.
So I have sun, I have to knit moon.
Yes. Now, when we saw it, we just opened the Laine Magazine, and I just, there were so many beautiful patterns, of course. I went straight to that one, and I said, I want this one. I knew that was something that I would really love to wear. First of all, because it was a V-neck, and it's not easy to find beautiful V-neck sweaters. Not everybody wears them, and they're a little bit, it's easier to do the round one. But I just love it, the fact that it had the short sleeves, and I was not sure about the colors myself. I must say that when I looked at it, I was thinking, oh, it would be nice in pink or in blue. And my friend Amy, who is helping me, she said, let me pick out the color for you and see how it is. And she came with these three colors together, which is the colors that you have. And I must say that I said, oh no, I don't wear yellow, I don't wear ochre, I don't think it's good for me. And but she convinced me that this would have been a really good and for once I listened. I'm not very good at listening.
I must agree with you that these colors look
really
nice.
It was so nice. And so this is, and also that was the first time that we tried to combine the our baby yak lace, which is so it's a lace weight 100% baby yak with the baby yak silk. So it's 50% baby yak and 50% silk, and we combine them together. So you can see, you see them, that you bring them together with these two actually, yeah. And we have the desert as well. So you have two lace and one baby yak silk, and it works perfectly. I think is that.
I really like the marble effect.
Yeah.
A really nice one.
You can see it better here. I think that so that I don't have to move too much. I think is one of the. I think this is one of my favorite sample of the year, and I've been wearing it so much that people say, "Do you have anything else to show?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, it's so comfortable." Even now, with the cold weather coming in, I just put long sleeves under because it's very. We did need. I should try to move and show you. We did need a 4 size 4, which is very generous on me. We could have done with a size 3 for sure, but I wanted something that is really nice and easy.
With this design, I recommend to knit with more ease because it doesn't have a shoulder shaping, so the construction is fairly simple. So the additional ease adds some nice folds, And because, for example, if you will take only 10 or like 5 centimeters ease, it could produce not really nice folds here, so it would be like this.
Yeah.
But with the enough ease, it like looks really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's really nice folds.
So now this one is on Laine Magazine issue 11. When will it be available as an individual pattern?
I still have to translate it. I think I will publish English version in November.
November this month?
Yeah, I hope November. Yes, this November.
It is November now, yeah.
Yeah, this November. And I will translate and that Russian later on.
Later on, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will take another month or two to publish.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, the original yarn that you used is British yarn, correct? No.
Yes, John Arbor.
John Arbor, yeah, it's very nice, yeah. So that's the original. If you want to find the original yarn, it's in the magazine or wherever you see all the information. If you want to, of course you can do your own color combination. If you want to have exactly the same as we did, you can just go on our website. We have kits available already. You just have to click on your size and it's easy and you get the yarn delivered at home. So that's easy. What else do you want to show us?
I can show you my other favorite slip stitch. I think this one is, I have 3 of them. This one, it's one of my, I cannot say my favorite design. I mean, it's the same as saying that I have a favorite kid or something like this. But one of my favorite designs is sweater. And I think I have one more, yeah. I have 3 of them.
So tell us the name. Also, is this the Northern Tales? No.
No, this is, I don't know how to pronounce properly the English word. Aubade. It's from Pom Magazine. And
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
Which issue of Pom Pom?
yeah, Pom issue 32.
32.
Yeah, sometimes I have issues with English words.
I think now that I see, I remember it. You want to show it again? I think it was so fast we didn't really see it. So this is, so the one that you had before in blue is the same design as this one, but you have different versions?
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
Ah, wow. So this is more like a subtle color combination, like a low contrast.
Yeah, and this one is more pronounced.
Wasn't this on the cover of Pom Pom? No.
No, the other design of mine was on the cover, the summer.
Oh, the summer one.
Yeah. But this one, I planning to publish individual pattern in December, and we are test knitting now with my Russian test knitters. And one of the test knitters using your yarn for this sweater.
Oh yes, I think I've seen it on Instagram. It looks so good.
It's such a gorgeous golden hue.
Yeah.
She combines with my hair, and it really looks like a sun around her shoulders.
Yeah, it does. I will have to check. The name of this pattern is Aubade or Aubade. Is spelled Aubade.
Yeah.
So we will link it down below, like everything else. We'll try to remember.
It means morning love song.
All right, and thank you, Valeria, for letting us know. She's writing in the chat. One of. So that is also very nice.
Yeah, and it has the similar.
Yeah.
Pattern, but like very different designs. It's a cropped version, and the Espalier is like proper winter or autumn sweater,
Right.
long one. And this one is more, I think, cold spring.
Yes, it's very nice. There is one of yours that I really like too, and I don't know if you have it there, is the Northern Tales.
Yes, I have it.
not that we prepared, but I just, yeah. I think when I saw this one, I thought, oh my God, we have to have this one knit up. But this, there's only so much that we can do.
Yeah, and I have a men's version. I stole the sweater from my husband.
Oh.
I need him present.
Oh, that's a beautiful version. Oh my God, I think my husband would want something like that.
I even a bit jealous because I love these colors. They look really nice. Yeah, and I'm planning because Jack is a new addition to our family. We got him like a few months ago.
Ah.
I'm planning to knit him the same sweater.
Oh, he's going to love it.
So he properly introduced to our family.
That's a good way to have. You can have the Christmas sweater with all together. So this one was Northern Tales, and it comes as a pattern for both men and women already, or?
For Northern Tales, it's a women pattern.
Yeah.
Because it has two darts, it has adjustments, so the front is a bit wider than the back, and it has boat neck, I would say.
Yeah.
And like this version, it has crew neck, simpler construction, so the back and front are same. Yes, and decreases. Or increases, sorry, it needs top down, yeah. Increases, they fit better the wider shoulders, so.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
They're both gorgeous, really nice. I think definitely, you should have the pattern for the men pattern as well coming out, because it's, I know that not as many knitters knit for their partners or family members, male family members, but still is such a beautiful garment.
And I must admit, some although it's supposed to be for like male type of body or figure, quite some women I know they use this version of the pattern because they also want crew neck, and they just took the one size bigger, so it's
right.
More
Yeah.
loose. So it's not 8 centimeters ease, but 18, for example, and it fits really nice also.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you also had, I know that you also had some sock patterns because you were in the 52 weeks of socks. And you also have you have done a collaboration with a couple of collaborations, I think, with Woolfolk as well.
Yes, I love our. I think the Beton neck warmer dicky will work if you knit with your yarn like lace yarn or double. I think it can work with this because it's light decay, I would say more sport weight yarn. Yeah, sport weight yarn. And I'm not sure if, but I love this.
I love the texture of this one, yeah.
Yeah, I can try.
So what's the name of this one again? Sorry.
Beton.
Okay.
Beton.
Beton, yeah.
Beton. Yeah, but sometimes some people like, especially in Poland, they produce beton.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm probably butchering myself. I have no idea
in
how.
Russian, beton.
Beton, yeah.
Sometimes, yes. And I also have a sweater with this design that I love very much. I'm still knitting my own version, and it's a run weight, so maybe your yarns on thicker side.
Yeah.
Will also work. It's like 18 stitches per 10 centimeters. I think it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We don't really have an Aran weight, but I saw it's beautiful. Yeah, that one is also very, very beautiful. And I mean, of course, it's Woolfolk. The photography is amazing. Everything is is good.
Yeah, I first designed this print for them, and then, like after a few months, they typed me and asked if I want to design sweater with the same
stitch, with the same pattern.
Because
Yeah.
actually, a lot of people ask if there is a sweater like this with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I designed also sweater for them with the same.
That's
pattern.
really beautiful. So what's next for you?
Well, I want to finish with all the, because I have quite some patterns to publish from Pom Pom that I received the rights back from Pom Pom, from Laine. I have to publish 2 patterns from Laine, from the shawl book and from the magazine. I still have to publish 2 patterns from Pom Pom. Another magazine, Making.
Making,
There
of
is
course.
a Making Stories.
Yes,
and
Making,
there is
yeah.
Making. And I also have pattern there that I should receive rights back quite soon. So I still have to.
Yeah. What is the pattern? What is the pattern that you had in Making? I don't think I remember.
It's a tank top. It's a summer issue, so it's a
Oh,
tank
yeah,
top
yeah.
with the lacy motif around the V-neck.
I think I remember now.
So I'm knitting my own sample now because they asked me this bigger size, to knit bigger size, and to be able to model myself, I have
Yeah.
to finish my own
Yes,
sample.
you have to do that. I mean, if you
Yeah.
think in the last, you just said you've been working on this more professionally or more full time for 5 years, and within the hour that we've been talking about, you just mentioned all of the biggest magazine, the knitting magazine that we have, from Laine and Making Stories, Pom Pom. So I think is.
Also,
Do you have Amirizu? Were you publishing Amirizu too?
I just received Amiri, so my designers.
I knew that. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. It's like 5 minutes before our live chat started.
Ah.
There's a post. I received this post, so I'm extremely happy now. Also, yeah. The thing is that I didn't plan to like publish a lot in the magazines, but my first ever pattern, I even didn't think to create this pattern. The mittens. It was published in Amirisu issue, and at that time I was just knitting my mittens like I would like them to look, so just for myself, not planning to publish pattern, didn't plan to send as a idea to magazine or whatever, but then someone sent me, or I found on internet that Amirisu has had this submission call, and my design fit quite well on their mood board, so okay, why not, I can send. I didn't prepare any submission call PDF or probably I just made a photo of mittens.
Yeah. Sometimes it only takes.
Yeah, and they wrote me, I didn't expect them to write me back, or I just sent, why not?
Yeah.
And they wrote me back asking if I would like to publish this design with their magazine. And said, oh my god, now I have to figure out how to write patterns because I never did it. I never knit with patterns. Oh, okay, I read some patterns, but I never used a pattern from the beginning to the end. So
All right.
I'm not familiar with this, wasn't familiar at that time with the structure or how it's written or something like this. So I just was knitting what I would like to wear. And at that moment I realized that I had to learn how to write patterns, how to do it. So I think their decorator at that time probably cursed me or like killed me 10 times with his imagination, because when I received first draft back from decorator, it was all red. And they did amazing job, because without them I wouldn't hear without Amirisu, because they gave me this opportunity.
And I give you the visibility. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt okay, I can do it. And I started to produce more and more patterns and write patterns for my other designs, because I think this shawl I need before Amirisu, but I never thought I would create pattern for this shawl. I just knit shawl for myself and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But after Amirisu, I started to look at my knits from the different angle.
Yeah.
and thinking, okay, can I offer this design to the magazine, or can I publish the pattern? The same with this sweater. I just learned how to do color work, and then okay, I can do pattern for this. So, and to be honest, with magazines, for me it's a lot easier because I don't have to worry about decorating.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about yarns or supplying the yarn, because with this pattern I knit from one yarn and then it was discontinued, so I had to figure out the other yarn. So I need 3 or 4 samples of the shawl because every time something happens with the yarn.
Well, if you want to knit another sample with a yarn, I'm more than happy to send you the yarn.
Yeah, so, and with magazines, they take a lot of work that behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and help you a lot in like all this managing all the work,
Yeah.
writing, checking. Laine helped me with finding test knitters. So with magazines, like a lot of people say that you have to establish your name first and then submit to magazines. For me, it's other way around, because if you can create nice ideas and their designs, but you don't know how to write pattern and like how to this all in inner board, inside the board, this managing stuff, it can be a way to do it with the
Yeah.
help of magazine. Yeah.
But I must say that both of the magazine, well, Ameriso and Laine, but I'm sure the others as well, they're very good in supporting designer in that way, and I think
Yes,
that's why they
yes.
are leaders in the industry. So not only they are amazing magazine, but the people behind, if you think Laine with Yona and Sini, are absolutely amazing, and they go out of the way to really help and support designers. So I'm not surprised that
Yes.
from the help that you receive from them. And the same with Mary in the Tokuko for Ameriso as well.
Yes, the Compone also did an amazing job, because when I submitted my summer top, I thought it will be a lot easier to write down the pattern, and ended up having like 10 or 15 charts or something like that. And there the editor came up with the idea how to write it a lot simpler and shorter. And I learned a lot myself from like talking, from our conversations with the editor. And I mean, it's a really great opportunity and learning opportunity, and you get all the support and you get paid for this also. So
That helps as well. Yes, of course. Yeah. Well, it's you're doing an amazing job. You really have. Is that not only you have the creativity? I think that your background as a graphic designer also helps in the in the stitches that you create, the images that you create. I think that has to do a lot with it. Where else do you get your inspiration from?
It's quite difficult to say, because of course I can say like this was inspired by stitch pattern itself. This design was inspired by sunbeams going through the clouds. The other design, sometimes I create a design and then I have to figure out how I was inspired. What was the inspiration behind the design? Sometimes it just comes.
Great.
And then you figure, maybe it's because there is a term in Russian language. Unfortunately, I don't know how to translate properly to English. But when you looking a lot of things, you like going to museums, looking paintings, movies. It creates some sort of taste of feeling, and you cannot maybe something on the back of your head lying already for 3 years, and then this is it comes later. So it's basically as much as you should like watch more and read more about the designs or art or whatever. And this creates images, links that you may not recognize yourself in your head, and then they just pop. That's all.
Right.
So it's difficult for me. It's still a bit difficult to explain in English.
Yeah, that's okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. I hope people can understand.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for. Believe it or not, our hour is already past.
Yeah.
It's
So
going
very,
fast.
Very fast hour.
Yeah. I'm really happy that you accepted our invitation to be in these episodes of the Knitting Yak. Continue, we will keep following you and be big fans because we really love your design. I hope that more and more people will discover you as well. Whatever yarn and whatever inspiration you have, I think is really, really beautiful. And so thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for inviting. Yeah, I enjoyed very much our conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
So, this is the end of our episode. We will see you possibly next week. And if you're watching this, please do remember to subscribe to this channel, send the link to your friends. Make sure you follow us on our social media, both mYak and Fiber Creative. You will, you will have all the information down below. So thank you again. Keep following us. We love chatting. We love supporting. We love lots of love. So we love love. So make sure you send us some when you can. Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalia.
Bye.
Bye.